Sami Al-Ziab of Haverhill, two-way standout, who's the Eagle-Tribune lineman of the week. Sammy, guys coming off two terrific performances. Defense is totally dominated. What's gotten into your defense?
Nothing much. After the bye week, it was nice to rest everyone up, get amped after that Central loss. And against Lawrence, we just knew what we had to do. We knew how physical we had to be. We have a lot of strong guys up front. Everyone is in the weight room this summer, so we can push the front line around. And when our front defensive linemen take up space, we have all our linebackers, especially Phil Panici, just filling people and ramming them. So.
And you talked about your weight program. Everyone comes back, wow, it really takes you back how strong those Hillies are. What is the weight program, and how have you guys managed to get so strong?
Well, the weight room is basically run by Coach Kill, who's our special teams coach. It's 4 days a week during the summer. We start in the winter, actually, 3 days a week, spring, another 3 days a week, but in the summer, 4 days a week. Have conditioning 2 days a week, and it's just intense workouts for an hour and a half every day. Our guys are getting strong, every main lift, just pushing around weights. It's great.
Are you a big bench press guy? I see you got the Hulk Hogan pythons working there. What's the bench press?
My max bench this summer is 375.
Wow. So are you the strongest kid on the team?
Me and Phil Panici exchange weights or lifts.
Okay, that's mighty impressive. Now, I saw in the Eagle-Tribune you actually prefer defense to fullback. Also, one of the area's top fullbacks, 112 yards rushing, 2 TDs last week, a real bruiser. Why do you prefer defense?
They're both great, but just on the defensive side, just being an animal, just hitting people, getting sacks, nothing feels better than the sack. The first time I got touched, and I was like, this is cool, but it's not as cool as a sack. Whole crowd's cheering, the guy's 10 yards back. It's great.
Are you from a football family?
No, I'm the only one in my family that ever played football.
Oh, really?
I don't even think my parents know what's going on when they watch my games.
Oh, that's funny. But what do you tell them how you guys did when you give up a total of 2 first downs, 1 via penalty to Methuen? Probably a historic defensive performance.
Oh, yeah. And there's 0 points on the board. We know we did something good.
Can you guys keep it up? Is this just a good run, or what's the goal with the streak you guys have on defensive shutouts?
Well, definitely we want to shut out Drake. We want to try to shut out every team we face. That's the goal every time we go out there.
Does the wrestling play into your football performance? Also, one of the areas of top wrestlers. How does that help you on the gridiron?
No, wrestling and football, like my wrestling coach always say, they go hand in hand. The better you are at one sport, the better you're going to be at other. With wrestling, it definitely helps with D-line. You just getting your hands on people, taking them off. Balance, speed.
What did it mean to you to have a big football season when you had your wrestling season snuffed out last year with the mononucleosis?
After having my wrestling season snuffed out last year, it was just the whole spring, summer, I was just motivated to be the best I can be in football and wrestling. So the amount of work I put in this summer is really paying off right now.
Are you just a naturally driven kid, or where does that drive come to blow off the beach and blow off the party and dedicate yourself to the weight room as opposed to doing some of those teenage things other kids can do a lot more?
It's just wanting to be the best you can be at something. I'm the competitive kid. I like being the best I can be at anything. I want to be number one. That's the goal.
Any college goals or plans?
Not as of right now, but hopefully I'm still thinking about it. Whether I want to play football or wrestle, so it's a tough decision. But
you hearing from a lot of schools?
Not as many yet, because junior year is a pivotal year for wrestling, and with that taken away, it really hurt. But
we'll send out the tape from the Lawrence game, and I think we'll get 10 or 20 college coaches drooling a little bit, Sammy.
I hope so.
Congratulations. Keep up the good work.
Okay, thank you.
With Angel Martin, Greater Lawrence Tech star, and our Eagle-Tribune Player of the Week. Angel, wow, quite a dual performance with 197 yards rushing, 1 TD, 107 yards passing, 2 TDs. Take us through the big win last week over Greater Law.
It was a team effort, honestly. I couldn't have done it without my line. It was everybody all around win. It was something that we just needed to win. We're trying to make the playoffs, so just trying to get all the wins we could get.
In the 197 yards rushing for a quarterback, you don't see numbers like that that often. Is that the offense, or is that just your skill set?
Once again, that was all around everybody. My offense, my running backs, everybody was just blocking that game.
Coach Sarkis, geez, Angel coming off a huge game last week. What can you say about him being such a dual threat?
I think that's the reason why he's in there. He's very. They can't play him one side, on the pass or the run. So it makes him a lot more versatile, and it makes our offense a lot more complicated to stop.
What do you prefer, Angel? Do you prefer to run or you prefer to throw?
Honestly, I prefer the big play. Whichever. If that may be running, throwing, just the big play. Whatever gets the touchdown.
It was a real interesting interview, I thought, that you had after the game with our Eagle-Tribune reporter, and you really sort of bared your soul a little bit about how you were really hurt. You lost your starting position. What was that like, having to battle through losing your position?
Yeah, I mean, I was angry. It's pretty much, I was mad. I just want the ball. It's pretty much.
Coach Sarkis gave a lot of credit to your maturity. A lot of times a young man goes through some difficult situation like that, maybe just pouts. How did you handle it so maturely?
I mean, I knew they needed me as the offense, so I knew I would get put eventually, so I wasn't really worried about it. He had some real interesting things to say in the newspaper about how much he was deeply hurt that he lost his position, but he handled it like a 35-year-old.
Yeah, very mature, didn't complain about things, didn't become sour, supported the kid, helped him out, did what he had to do, and they kind of fed off each other, which is great to see as a coach. I think that's one of the things that I loved about that. Handled it perfectly, didn't complain about anything, helped the kid out, and then when it was his turn to come in and do what he needed to do, he did it. And that makes it very proud as a coach.
How does the wrestling background come in? The toughest athletes, I think we can all agree, are wrestlers. And would you wrestle up 2 weight classes last year?
Oh, yeah.
Where does that toughness come from? What's it like to be wrestling a guy 30, 40 pounds heavier than you?
I mean, it's all mentality, honestly. It's all mentality.
How does that carry over onto the football field?
I'm just hungry. Just hungry for everything. I work hard for everything.
And what is your football background? Were you a Pop Warner star, or what was your athlete as a football
not really. My first year, I was playing for the Models. I wasn't really that good. My work ethic was good.
And how important is work ethic for football success?
It's important for everything in general.
Okay. Congratulations, Angel. Quite a performance. Our player of the week, Angel Martin.
Thank you.
Okay, and we are back on the Eagle-Tribune High School Football Show. Mike, people can say a lot about us, but they can't say we're homers. Last week...
Homely? Yes, they can. Oh, homers.
Homers. Last week, we both picked against our alma mater, Mead Pentucket, U Andover, and they both won. They both upset maybe not upset, but they both beat an arch rival. Yeah. Pentucket beating Newburyport, Andover beating Chelmsford. So, there you go. You can like our picks, not like our picks, but you can't say we're homers.
We're stupid, but we're not homers.
That's the important thing. So we go into this coming week, and we start off with the game of the week in the state. The game of the week, maybe in New England, I don't know. We have Central Catholic at 3-1, playing at Lowell at 4-0. The game that, barring any bizarre things, is going to decide the Merrimack Valley Conference, and this is a big game.
Yeah, it's sort of funny. Everyone is definitely buying in on Lowell. ESPN Boston and their statewide poll has Lowell number 4 and Central 5. Central coming off the D1 state title and playing so well this year. Lowell's schedule has been mighty soft. That is one soft schedule they played. I just frankly don't think I'm buying it at this point. Maybe they are very good. I just don't know. And they get the great Shaheem Cullen, who's a really superb football player. You got to see him play, all signed, sealed, and delivered fullback linebacker to Syracuse. I just think Central's the superior club. I'm going Central 29, Lowell 12.
Shy Cullen's the X factor. Like you say, he's going to the Cuse. I hate to be this guy. I watched some film of him on Huddle, and the guy's an absolute killer. He is really terrific. But, like you said, it's been against very mediocre competition. I think Lowell's got a chance here. And I'm almost tempted to pick them, but I'm going with the Raiders. I'm going to say Central Catholic in this one.
Yeah, I think Central, and I think Central comfortably.
Okay, well, that's the big game. We go on to less big games. First, we go to Andover, coming off a big win against Chelmsford, against winless Billerica. Andover's got offense. They're throwing the ball around. They're running the ball. They're doing everything. Billerica's averaging allowing 26.8 points a game. Andover's going to win this one easy.
Yeah, Andover played a nice game. Chelmsford's always tough and has really owned that rivalry over the years, and Andover did a nice job for itself. It's funny, Dwayne Sigsbury came to Billerica with a ton of pub, and he really is a fine coach. I think he's going to turn it around. Surprising that they've struggled this much, but yeah, go with Andover.
I think it's more first-year issues for Sigsbury. I think give him time to build the program. Okay, and we go on to another game that, at least on paper, and I think probably on the field, is going to be a mismatch. We had Haverhill at 3-1, at Drake at 0-4. Drake just got plowed over by North Andover. The score doesn't even indicate how badly North Andover beat them. Haverhill's red hot. They're 2-0 since their loss to Central Catholic. I get Haverhill huge in this one.
Yeah, Haverhill's defense, I guess they gave up a few garbage TDs a couple weeks ago. Historic dominance of Methuen, two first downs, one via the penalty, the whole game. Really dominated Lawrence the week before. Sami Al-Ziab, quite a guy. It was really fun speaking with him, and a heck of a ball player. So looks like the Hillies should be able to roll.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. Speaking of, we've got the team that beat up on Drake last week. We got North Andover going to Lawrence. North Andover again, red hot right now. Lawrence, not so much. They've lost for the last two. They've really struggled. North Andover seems to be really clicking in. You know, we've talked a lot about Bubba Shkalou. They've got other playmakers. They have Tayshawn Watson, who had a big game against Andover, and a huge game against Drake. They've got the youngest of the Foot kids. Mm-hmm. They've got some players that can play.
They got the young speedster there, the track star, the sophomore name has escaped me a little bit. So they really have some impressive speed. They conceivably could be the fastest team in the MVC. So the thing seems to be clicking with North Andover. So have to go with the Knights in that one.
Yeah, definitely go with the Knights. All right, now we have, I lost my place, Methuen traveling to Tewksbury. This is going to be a tough one for Methuen. Tewksbury has been absolutely awesome. They're only allowing 8.8 points a game. Tewksbury is definitely the favorite.
Yeah, they got the statewide reputation after last year's state title, and ranked 8th this year. They'd probably be second or maybe even first in the state. They lost the heartbreaker to Everett. Going to be tough, Tom Ryan going back to the school where he had so much success, the Methuen coach, but I don't think this will be a happy one in the Ryan household.
No, it doesn't look that way. So we're both obviously going to go with Tewksbury in this one. Now we've got the reversal of fortunes. Former powerhouse Bishop Garten traveling to Salem, which is 4-1. They're red hot. They've won 2 in a row since their heartbreaking loss to Pinkerton. The Blue Devils could very well roll in this one.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how it plays out with the playoff scenario with them in Londonderry. It's sort of a crazy scenario how that's going to play out, that you could have a great record and not go to the playoffs, but they should add to that quick start with an easy win over BG.
All right. Speaking of Pinkerton, we got Pinkerton 5-0 going to Nashua North. At 3-2, I don't see Nashua North being much of a roadblock for Pinkerton.
Yeah, it wouldn't be surprising if the Astros just ran the table.
Yeah, and in fact, I would say they will. Sanborn, coming off Zach Matthews' career day, rushing for over 200 yards. Huge win. They're going to Sauhegan, 2-2. Both teams are 2-2. I think Sanborn's got a little something going here.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Sanborn. I think maybe it's Sauhegan though. I'm gonna have to disagree with you, and I'm thinking it's gonna be Sauhegan in this one.
I think they might have something with Matthews at fullback. All right, we got North Reading. They're losers of 2 in a row. They're starting to struggle. They're going to Saugus, which hasn't really played a very good schedule, except they beat Triton.
The kid caught Tech last week.
Yes, they have not played a good team. But they have not played a good schedule, but they did play Triton, and they beat up on Triton, which is not a great team, but they're a decent team. I think that North Reading could be a good game. I think I'm going to have to go with Saugus in this one.
Okay, I'll beg to differ. I'll go with North Reading, thinking Saugus was, they've not doing themselves any favor with such a soft schedule.
True, I agree with you on that. Londonderry's rolling at 4-1. The only roadblock for them has been Pinkerton. They're going to Merrimack at 2-3. Londonderry's just going to keep rolling here. You know, Manchester Mafia, they're really doing well.
Yeah, the Fairweather kid is really one talented football player. Everyone leaves the field after he plays and just goes, "Wow, have you seen this kid play?" And check him out.
Yeah. So, London, you got to think Londonderry in that one. Big favorite. Okay, this is a win. Timberlane up next. This is a win that Timberlane needs. Timberlane, they've got one win. They're traveling to Keene, which is obviously a trip that everyone dreads.
Yeah.
Keene's 0-5. Keene's allowing almost 40 points a game, 39.6 a game. This is a win despite the long bus ride that Timberlane absolutely needs.
Yeah, you have to beat Keene. That's the type of game that if you lose it, you look back and say, "Hey, maybe we didn't deserve to do anything this year if we couldn't beat Keene." So I'm going thinking, Owls should be up to the challenge.
Owls will win this one.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have Georgetown traveling to Linfield. Now this is not a. This could be a really ugly game because Linfield's really good. You know, they're going to outweigh their kids 100 pounds per person.
Yeah, usually Linfield's one of those tricky towns because it's a small school. I guess it would be bigger than Georgetown, but for the rest of the Cal, very affluent community, and it just seems like usually St. John's Prep cherry picks the top 3 or 4 kids. You got one kid going to Phillips Andover, one kid's going to Phillips Exeter. So I think it's a good athletic town, but the kids just don't stay home and go to Malden Catholic. Apparently the kids stayed home in this class because they're crushing teams, and this looks like maybe one of their great teams probably in school history. So
these are not the Linfield teams I played back in the day.
Ooh.
Linfield's going to roll in this one. Okay, now we got Shawsheen, a team that's usually very competitive, is down to 1-3 so far this season, traveling to Greater Lawrence, facing one of the practices that we went to this week. Greater Lawrence 3-2, coming off a big win. I say Reggie's in this one.
Yeah, Angel in the backfield, Angel Martin playing QB. Go with the Reggies.
Yep. Okay, we round out the very long Friday slate with Hollis Brookline going to Pelham. Pelham is 2-2. They're coming off another good win. I'm going Pythons in this one.
Yeah, that looks like almost a coin flip when you crunch the numbers a little bit, but Monadnock's pretty much a quality club and a quality program over the years, so that was a very good win for Pelham, and I'll say they'll keep the momentum going.
Okay, we go to the abbreviated Saturday slate. We have good old-fashioned Cal rivalry right here. We got Masco going to Pentucket at 3 o'clock. Masco's 3-1. They're very good. Pentucket 2-2. They've been very helter-skelter. The interesting fact about this is that Pentucket actually has a 2-game winning streak against Masco. That being said, it's not going to continue tomorrow. It would take a superhuman effort by Jeff Porter and crew to beat Masco, who's a very big, very strong, very tough team.
Yeah, they're just the 1-2 backfield punch of Scott Foden, Gavin Monagle there. It's just 2 quality backs and probably a little too much.
Yeah. You never know, but I'm going to go with Masco in this one. Okay, now we go to the prep ranks. We got Brooks at Rivers. Brooks is looking great this season.
They are, but A+ to Brooks. Rivers is a funny one. That they have the mediocre record, but just crunching the numbers a little bit on their schedule, it looks like they've had a brutal early schedule. You think of Rivers as a small school. They're playing some bigger schools and playing them tight. So I don't know if it might be a mini upset, but I'm going with Rivers in this one.
Okay, I'm going to go with Brooks. And we finish off the schedule with Phillips, which is just, they're struggling a little bit right now. This has been a tough year coming off last year's great championship team. They're hosting Cushing. I think we're going to both agree Cushing is the favorite in this one.
I don't know. I will agree with that, but it's interesting. Phillips lost 56-0 to Choate. You think, well, nobody could possibly be that much of a mismatch. The opener, 55-0 over Cushing.
Well, look at that.
But they've had a little time to lick their wounds, and Phillips is coming off that. I'm sure they got some bad injuries with the lopsided margin there, so go with a more healthy Cushing club.
Yeah, I agree. All right, and that clears out the slate. Once again, get out there. If you're not, get out there, watch some high school football. It's great stuff. We'll see you next week.